welcome to the channel, and today I will show you how to perform a supervised image classification using Landsat 8 image in Google Earth Engine. So let's get started. So to perform a supervised image classification using Landsat 8 image, first we have to define our region of interest. Now let me show you how to define our region of interest. So now let me select the study area, Chennai. Let me get to this study region. So this is Chennai. So now, to define this as my study area or my region of interest, I have to just go to the option called Add Marker. Now let me click this. Now click place a marker here. So now this will be our study area. You can also use this polygon option also. So now in this video I will use only the point option. So now I selected, I placed a marker in my study area, that is my region of interest, ROI. So now that is clearly indicated here. We define a variable called geometry with the latitude and longitude of the study area. So now let me rename this. So go to the option and let me rename as ROI. So region of interest I defined as ROI. Now click OK. You can also choose your desired color. So now let me choose a color. So I've chosen a color, click OK. So we have our ROI, the region of interest with latitude and longitude. So now let us perform our supervised image classification. So to perform a supervised image classification using Landsat 8 image, first we have to load our Landsat 8 image into Earth Engine. So to load our Landsat 8 image into Earth Engine, we have to define a variable called image equals to w.image collection Landsat 8 collection 1 tier 1 surface reflectance. So this is the code will import our Landsat 8 image into Earth Engine. Next we have to filter with specific date. So to filter with a specific date, we have to define dot filter date 2020 January 1, 2020 December 31. So next we are filtering with our study area. So that is ROI represents our study region of interest. So that is defined here. So this will be our study region with the latitude and longitude. So to filter with the study area, we have to define dot filter bound ROI. So next we have to, in order to reduce the cloud contamination, we have to define this function, that is dot sort cloud cover. So referring to the cloud percentage, and dot first function. So as this function, what it does is it gives us a low cloud contaminated Landsat 8 image. So next we have to define a visualization parameter for our Landsat 8 image. So to set a visualization parameter for our Landsat 8 image, we defined the variable visualization parameter true color composite. So equals to bands, band 4, band 3 and band 2. So band 2, band 3 and band 4 are 30 meter resolution. And we are set to a minimum value of 0 and to a maximum value of 3000 and a gamma value of around 1.4. So now to add this layer into Earth Engine, we have to define map.addLayer image, set the visualization parameter, that is we have defined our visualization parameter here, that is represented here, and output the layer name as Landsat 2020. And next to center our layer, we have to define map.centerObject ROI and with a zoom level of 8. So now let us run this code. So to run this code, go to the option called Run Script and click Run Script. So now let us visualize our Landsat 8 image for our study region. So now we can clearly able to view that this is our Landsat 8 image of 30 meter resolution. With the 3 band, we are using 3 bands, that is true color composite of Landsat 8 image. So now let me zoom into this region. So in this satellite image, we can able to see variety of features. So here's a water body, that is a lake, and here there is a ocean, and we have several water bodies here that is indicated. So this is a water body, and let me zoom here. So now let us view this urban settlements. So this is an urban area. It is highly populated, and we have several rivers, and we have a canal system here, and we have a water body, lakes. We have, this is a lake, this is a lake, this is a settlement, and we have a beach and a vegetation. So we have few areas where we can clearly able to visualize the vegetation. Now let me show you that. So this is a spot with the high vegetation, which is clearly indicated in green color. So this image is of 30-meter resolution. So this is a vegetation area. So let us perform. So next step, we have to provide a training data for our model, that is our supervised image classification model. So in order to provide a supervised image classification, to perform our supervised image classification, we need to provide our training data to our supervised classification model. So the training in order to import the training data. So to perform supervised classification, we have to give a training sample training data into for our model. So that is, we have to provide for each of these features. That is, for example, water body is a feature, and settlement urban area is a feature, and the barren land is another feature. Vegetation is a feature. So for each of these different features, we have to provide a sample or a training data to our model. So to how to perform this, how to create a training data. So now let me I will show you how to create a training data to our supervised classification model. So go to the option called geometry imports. Now click new layer. So now we have our new layer that is called geometry. So now go to the option called edit layer properties. So now this is our configure geometry input. So now let me enter the name. So now let me enter the name as water. So now we're going to provide a training data for our water bodies in our study region. So import as feature collection, and in properties, make sure that you click you type as class. Now in the value section, enter the value as 0. So for each of this class, we have to start with the value 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for each of our different features, that is water, urban areas. So in case water, we are giving a value of 0. So in case in a build-up, we're going to give a value of 1, and similarly for vegetation 2, and for barren 4. So now let me click OK. So now you can also choose your color. So let me choose the color for a water body. I will choose a blue color. So now click OK. So in this video, I will show you 4 different feature classes. We're going to perform a supervised image classification using 4 different features in our study region. So now we can clearly able to view that this layer in bold color. So you can turn this off just by clicking it. So to turn this layer on, click this. So it will be in the bold color. So now let us select the water bodies. So that is, we're going to select a training sample for our supervised image classification model. So now let me click different part of the water bodies, training data. So this point data will be used as a training data. So now let us click some more in the lakes. Let us take a training data from our lakes. Click this. So this is a canal. This is about the Kusastalya river, and let me show you that. So this is a canal system. So this is a Buckingham Canal. You can also select this as a training data. Now let me select this part of this region, water body. Now similarly, let me select this lake. So there is many water bodies in our study area. Make sure that you select all As you can give a more sample data, your supervised classification will be more accurate for each of your features. So this is another water body. Now let me to in order to check whether it is a water body or not, go to this layer, turn this off. So now you can clearly able to view here. So this is a water body. Let me turn this layer on again. So now let me select the other part of this. So some areas there is also vegetation has been covered. So make sure you only select the water. So there is another water body. There is a lake. So similarly, you have to select all the part of your study region in order to make more accurate supervised classification image. So this is a Pulicat lake. Now let me take the training samples from this lake. So this is one of the biggest lake in our study region. So now I have selected sample training data for our classification model. So in the different part of our study region. So now let me create another layer. So to provide a training sample for our build up areas. So now go to this option. Now click a new layer. So click this option called edit layer properties. Now enter the name as build-ups. Choose the import as feature collection and properties class and enter the value as 1. So we already mentioned value 0 for water bodies. So for build-up we are mentioning as 1. So click OK. So before that let me choose a color. So for build-up areas let me select a red color. Now click OK. So now let us provide a training data for our build-up. So make sure that when you're giving your training data, make sure that there should be a minimum of 50 points. So now let me give some training data for our build-up areas. So now you can clearly able to view there is a different high percentage of settlement density is observed in this part of the region. So now let me show you. Click the satellite. Now let me turn this layer off. So now let me zoom in. So now you can clearly able to view there is a different amount of settlements that is observed in this study region. So now let me take a sample training data from this region. Let me turn on this Landsat. Now let me click here. Just make sure that you are giving your training sample that is of settlement, that is a build-up areas. You can confirm using by turn off this layer, so you can visualize the different settlement number here in Google Earth Engine satellite. So now let me turn this on. So this is now Landsat. So now let me select few more areas of the settlements. So now here there is a settlement. Here there is a settlement. So you can also confirm your settlement by using this. Turn this off layer and go to the satellite mode. You can confirm the settlement areas in this region. So now I have taken around 78 points for sample training data for our build-up areas in the study area. So now let me select another layer. Click this. So now let me select another layer, that is vegetation. So go to the edit layer properties. So now let me name as vegetation. So I have named the class as vegetation. Import as feature collection. Now go to the properties. So now let me enter the property as class. Now let us enter the value as 2. So now click OK. Before that, let me choose a color for our vegetation. So vegetation, let me select. So let me select a dense color. So now click OK. So vegetation. Now let us provide some training data. So now let me select a vegetation area. So this green patch is an indication of vegetation. So now let me select that region. So here there is a green patch. So now let me select that green patch only. So now let us select, let us provide more training sample for our vegetation. So there is another green patch here. Let me select. So there is a green patch here. So now I have selected a training data for our vegetation. So now let us select our training data for our barren areas. So now let me select a barren areas in this image. So now let us create a new layer. Go to this layer section, new layer. So now edit layer properties. So now let me enter as barren. Now select the import as job, select as feature collection. So properties, class. Enter the value as 3. So now click OK. So now let us provide a sample training sample for our barren areas in this study region. So now let me take the training data of this barren areas. So selected different barren areas for our training sample to import it as our training sample to our model. So select as minimum as 45 points. So here we have 46. Let's select 4 more areas. So we have 50 points. So we have provided a training sample with training samples for different classes for water body, build-up, vegetation, and barren lands. So now we have created a different training data for our Landsat 8 image to import this training data into our supervised image classification model. So we created for training data for water, build-up, and vegetation, and barren areas. So here the red indicates build up and the blue indicates. So now we have created different training data in order to import our training data into our supervised classification model. So water, build up, vegetation, barren. So next step we have to create a training data and extract the bands from Landsat 8 image. So, to import this training data and extract the Landsat 8 band from the Landsat 8 image will be continued in the next video. Please check in our link in the description for the part 2 of this supervised image classification using Landsat 8 image. Thanks for watching and subscribe to our channel.